just means hi all, I'm Matt, live from Liverpool Hope University. I'm a graduate advocate. That just means that I graduated this year. And today we're going to go over a quick finance facts and figures all about student finance. This is aimed towards Student Finance England. So if you've got any questions about student finance, anything at all, I'm going to be in the Q&A section a little bit later on. If anyone doesn't understand me because of my Scouse accent, anything at all, just throw a hand up and I'll be happy to go through that again and speak to Queens. So a little bit of like a true or false first. So you need to pay for the first year of university before you actually start the course. That is false, okay? You don't pay anything for your first year of university until you've registered on the course. The course fees are £9,250. That is true. But as we go over it again later, the course fees don't actually come out of your pocket. These can come through student finance. So students need to have a confirmed place at university before applying for your loans. Again, this is false. We always recommend that you apply for your student finance while you're putting your applications in. Okay, so it's probably going to be around this time next year for students looking for September 2024 entry. And then we move on to some little extra bits. Again, everything that I say in these true or falses, we're going to go over in this presentation anyway. So scholarships can be paid back after you've graduated. That's false. Scholarships, bursaries, all free. Okay, that's free money that's going to get given to you. So as I'll say again later, any scholarship, any bursary, if you think you are slightly able to get it, just apply. Just apply for it. It's not going to take anything away from you. Maintenance loans pay for your courses. That's false. So the difference between a tuition loan and a maintenance loan, we're going to go through that as well. But a maintenance loan is something that is given to you and that comes into your bank account to live off. And then English students repay their loan once they start earning over 27,295 a year. That is true. So if you're earning under that amount for the duration of your career, you don't pay back a penny of any part of your student loan. So a couple of key terms. So you may have seen some of these terms that were up there just then. So your tuition fee, this is the money that is paid to the university for the cost of your degree. So that's that 9,250. Maintenance, as I said then, that is your living cost, your support for general living. So that money is put into your bank account by student finance, by whatever country you're in. A loan is something that you have to pay back. Okay, so if anything has blank loan, that money is going to get paid back after that 27,295. Then we move on to scholarships. So scholarships are a sum of money given to reward, encourage, or incentivize. So these can be anything from sports scholarships to drama, music, all them sorts of things. Have a look on every single university website that you'll want to apply for and have a look at what scholarships they've got to offer at that point and see if you're applicable, if any are applicable to you. Student Finance England, so they're the company who provides students for student finance in England. So SFE Scotland, so SFS, they do Scotland. Wales have their own and Northern Ireland have their own as well. And then household income. So this is what your maintenance loan is going to work off. So the higher your household income, the less money you'll more than likely get. Household income, it comes from your parents, guardians, the people who you live with, who support you. So we move on to student finance application. So applying with all the relevant evidence before the deadline guarantees support in place for the start of the term. What we recommend is that you get your application in as soon as it's offered. So as soon as you can put that application in, get it done so that student finance can send the money to the university, and so that you're able to get that money into your account come that first day of term. So again, apply as early as possible. Your confirmed places at a university is not required at all. So if you put in one course into your student finance application, it doesn't matter. You can still go through clearing and that course will be then paid for. If you're still undecided, apply for your preferred choice and then change that later on. What's then available? Okay, so you've got your tuition loan, as we said, that covers the $9,250 for the course. That's per year. Then your maintenance loans help cover rent, bills, groceries, anything like that that'll come out of your own bank account is half, sometimes full, covered by your maintenance loan. We'll go over how much you can potentially get in different parts. And then, as I said before, part of your maintenance loan depends on your household income. So if anyone has any questions about how much money they're able to get, if you go to gov.uk/student finance calculator, that there is what you'll be able to get, how much money you're able to get. And then just a little guideline of maintenance loans and how much you are able to receive. So if you're a student who's going to be living at home, as what I did, you're able to get up to £8,400. So that is the maximum, that's the top line. Elsewhere, so living away from home, but you're not in London, it's 9,978. All these figures are for the year. These are paid in 3 installments, one at the start of the first term, one at the start of the second term, and then one at the end of the third term. The third term tends to be a bigger loan, just because that's meant to get you through the summer as well. And then living away from home and in London, you're able to get up to £13,022. That is just because of the higher rent costs. Then what's available? So there's also extra support for those with specific circumstances. So if you've got children, you've got adult dependents, disability, long-term health conditions, them sort of things, anything like that at all, you're able to have a look to see whether the university offer any extra financial options or whether Student Finance England can support that as well. Student finance application support online or by the phone. So you don't actually need to be in front of a computer if you don't have one, or you can call up if you're struggling at all like that. They are on the numbers that you can call are on the website, so you can get them by phone, anything like that. You'll be able to get them. So remember, you don't need to pay anything upfront before attending university if you're going through Student Finance England or any student finance. And then when I was talking about bursaries and scholarships before, so many universities are going to offer financial support through bursaries. Bursaries are linked to personal circumstances, household income awards, discounted tuition, accommodation, cash, anything like that. So if you're struggling for money, don't think you're going to be the only person. A lot of people right across the country and all universities come from different backgrounds and may need more support than other people. So the universities all have money set aside for scholarships and bursaries. It's money that will be given out to you. Again, when you go looking at universities, make sure you talk to the finance teams, tell them what sort of trouble you've got into, anything like that, and you'll be able to talk to them about different options and different bursary scholarships that you might be able to apply for. And then your scholarships, again, the link to your academic results, abilities in areas such as sport and music. These are usually subject specific and are limited in number. So for Liverpool Hope's scholarship in sport, you would have to be either currently representing your country or have represented your country in the past in your particular sport. So if you've played international for football for England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, then you're applicable for this for the scholarship. Or if you've been a part of Team GB for any sort of sport as well, that's what it's there for. And then some specific ones that we've got. So we've got the Access to Hope Scholarship. This is aimed towards students who are mature, have been in care, have a disability, BME. If you've come from deprived areas, that sort of thing, you're able to apply for one of these scholarships. These are worth up to £3,000 per year, so £9,000 throughout the entire study. And then two others that I was talking about as well. So students with a talent in dance, drama, musical, sport can apply for the performance scholarship. Make sure you got a portfolio in public performances performed at a national level, and that's the same. So that's £3,000 over the period study. Sorry, that'll be £1,000 for each year. And then music scholarships as well. So we work with the Metropolitan Cathedral in Liverpool, and if you get this one, it just means that you'll be a part of the university choir and that sort of thing as well. And then some external and past scholarships that we've worked with. So have a look at different universities and see whether they offer external scholarships as well. So if you're a Welsh student, there's some there for you. If Yorkshire Ladies Council of Education, so if you're over the age of 21 and you want to study to become a teacher, female, and you're from Yorkshire, then you're able to apply for that one. And then further support, when we were talking before about childcare grants, parents' leaving allowance, adult dependence grants, and disabled students allowances. Again, I 100% recommend talking to any and all finance teams at every university to see if any of these are applicable to you. What should be offered as well by a lot of universities is part-time work on campus. So these are just little extra things to fill up your bank account in between student loans, preparing for life after education as well. So if you want to go into research, you might be able to work with tutors on your course, being interns, that sort of thing you might be able to do. Working for the university or working externally as well. So if you come to a city like Liverpool, which are full of students, we've got about 60,000 students in the entirety of the city. There's going to be tons of employers who take on students knowing that they're going to have to be flexible because you probably want to go home during the holidays, Easter, them sorts of things. When you've got time off university, most likely you do want to go home for a little bit, and they work around your timetables, and when you want to go home, it's absolutely perfect as a student being in Liverpool. And then some things that you can do on campus. So the picture just here as well, you can see there are student ambassadors. So these do like campus tours, work on applicant days, open days, whatever university you go to, and they've got students working, they will be getting paid. And these are sometimes the best people to talk to about getting student experience. So whenever you go to an open day looking at different universities, make sure you talk to some of these student ambassadors. Student resident tutors, senior resident tutors, depending on what the university calls them. These are people who live in halls of residence with you as well. We've got one student resident tutor between each accommodation block. That's just someone that's there day in, day out that you can go down to, get a bit of support from, talk to, or get signposted into the right direction. We've got a whole campus based towards the creative arts. So we've actually got a theatre based on there called the Capstone Theatre, and you're able to work there as an usher, and behind the scenes, that sort of thing. Sports staff, catering, and writing mentors as well. Tons of different jobs on campus that you might be able to. It's very, very varied, so you'll be able to find a job that's perfect for you on campus. And then when it comes to repayments, so repayments start when your incomes exceeds 27,950. Sorry, £25,000. Apologies, wrong before. This is the right amount. You repay 9% of your income that is over that threshold. I've got a little table that's coming up on the next slide, which will be able to show you at different ranges how much you'll pay back. If you fall below that threshold, so if you end up moving jobs, that's less money, or you end up out of the job, anything like that, repayments will stop. These payments come out of your pay slips. So when you're a student and you go through student finance, you'll give in your national insurance number. That is the same number you'll give when you're applying for jobs, everything like that. And once you start earning over the thresholds, the money will come out of your payslip before it even gets into your accounts. So it's not like you're having to pay it back like you would a car loan or anything like that. It's gone straight away. Any outstanding loan balance will be cancelled 40 years after entering repayment. Okay, so as soon as you pay back your first one, so as soon as you start earning over 25, you can count then 40 years from that point. After that, it's all cancelled. So even if you owe any more money, you're not going to have to pay anything back after that point. It's not like a regular loan. If you don't pay it back, a bailiff's not going to come knocking on a door and expecting to take different things to make up that money. It is just written off at the end of 40 years after the start of repayments. And I said, the repayments are based on your income and not what you borrowed. So if you go and do a master's, a PhD, and you take finance for that as well, you don't actually pay more money than if someone just did a master's. It all works off your income, which you can see here. So up to £25,000, you pay £0 back. 26, you'll be paying back £7.50 a month. It's a really, really minimal amount. So 9% over that. Then 30,000, it goes up to 37.50. 35,000, £75 a month. 40,000, £112.50, and 45,000, £150 per month. So that's just a quick guide on how much you'll be paying back. Not many people are going to be earning bang on that amount of money, and that's it. This is before tax, don't forget as well. So your tax will come out on top of this. Budgeting. So one thing you're probably going to want to do is have a look at where you're moving to, how much are grocery prices, how much is everything going to be. So typically, if you're looking at a 4 pints of milk, it's about £1.55. Again, these are prices in Liverpool. So if you go to London, they may be more expensive. Other areas of the country may be more expensive or less expensive. You've just got to do your own research on that as well. Then when you're doing laundry, especially if you move out away from your parents' home, you're going to have to start paying for this stuff yourself. It can go up to like £7.50. So that's something that you got to think of. You think stuff that I haven't bought before, I'll have to start paying now. Frozen vegetables, £1 typically. You can pay anywhere from like £15 to £16 a month for your phone bill as well. So especially if the people you live with aren't paying for this and you're paying for it out of your own pocket, this is another expense that you might have to think of. So what I'll probably recommend is that before you move out, before you go, have a look at what you're paying for now. So what expenses are you giving out? And then also, what are you going to have to pay for while you're at university? How much are groceries going to cost? How much are books going to cost? That sort of thing. If you want to have a takeaway every so often, I know the Domino's are advertising that they've gone a little bit cheaper now, but typically if you want a takeaway on a Friday night per se, it's going to be you're going to pay a little bit more than what you would do for groceries. So we might be able to take that into account. Cheese going up to anywhere up to £4 at the minute as well. Your textbooks. So you may have mandatory textbooks that are on your course that you may have to buy, rent, them sorts of things before you start the course or while you're on the course as well. This is a scary expense that some people just, when they start the course, they're like, I'm fine. And then all of a sudden you're like, I need to pay for X, Y, and Z. Make sure you do that budgeting really, really well at the very beginning so that you don't end up having to live off £5 a week. Chicken, 4.20. Bread can go to like £1.20 as well. Additional costs. So stuff that we saw on there, you've got your books, equipment for your course, socializing. Do you want that full university experience? If so, what are you going to do? Phone bills, music subscriptions like your Spotify, your Apple Music, that sort of thing. Your weekly food shop, transport. How far are you staying away from the university? Do you need to get back home via transport? Anything like that? Are you able to bring your car up to university, or do you have to get a train home? Some things just to think about there. Laundry. So if you've got your own house in second, third year, or if you moved out first year, and you've got your own laundrette in the house, perfect. You may not have to pay anything extra, just a little bit more in the water bill, or if all your bills are included, absolutely great. But sometimes if you living in communal halls, or if you're in a big high-rise of flats and it's got a laundry room, then most likely you're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for that as well. So think about what that is going to entail. Gym memberships as well. So it keeps coming back to Hope, but we've actually got a gym on our Hope Park campus, which is £25 for the year, which is usually less than what you would pay a month for one that's outside. So have a think of different things that are going to cost you money. And then tips to save money as well. So little things that our students have come up to say together, alumni, like stuff that they did in the past to work on. So cooking, shopping together. So you and your flatmates, maybe you share a meal, you buy a little bit extra food and you cook together, you eat together, that sort of thing. So that makes sense then shopping together as well. You put all the money down in a little kitty, go shopping together and everything's in the freezer. You may not get along with the people in your flat as well. So you may just want to do that by yourself. Just something to think about. So sharing essentials as well. When you get to university, you're going to be in a kitchen with other people. If everyone brings the exact same amount of things, you're probably going to have a really, really full kitchen. So I wouldn't want to share cutlery with other people, but other people might. So if you have cutlery for everyone in the flat, that's perfect. Or if you bring up 2, 3 of your own, that's okay as well. An iron. So does your accommodation come with an iron board? If not, does the flat all get together, chip a bit of money in, and you all share that? Something to think about there. Milk, sugar. You've got the necessity of tea and coffee when you're at university. Do you share all that, or do you pay for it yourself? Does everyone have their own bag of sugar? Does everyone have their own milk? That sort of thing. Using cheaper supermarkets, so you tend to get your Aldi's, your Lidl's, quite close to universities as well. So that's a nice place to go and just have a quick shop. Not buying brand items, buying supermarket owned stuff. It's something that you may have to do. Some people might think, oh, I'm not going to be buying stuff from like supermarket brands. It may come as a necessity in the end where you're living off X amount of money for the next couple of weeks, but you end up having to go, okay, I need some food. Let's go and get some. Let's go to Aldi. Let's go to Lidl, that sort of thing. Budget your week. Make sure that you include socializing in there as well, because there's nothing worse than waking up the next morning and realizing I've just spent an entire week's budget in one night. And then make sure you make use of NUS, student cards, student discounts, absolutely everywhere. There's a ton of different things to use. You've got student beans, you've got quite a few. Gone off the top of my head now. But yeah, student beans is one, uni days is another. They're apps that you can use, and a load of different companies put on discounts on there for students. So if you need to buy something, make sure you have a look online, type in student discounts for Argos. If you need something from Argos, have a look, see if they've got anything. Usually 20-30% off or money back, that sort of thing. Absolutely perfect as you're a student. But that is the end of my talk. So if you've got any questions that you want to direct at me, I'm going to be in the Q&A suite. So if you've got any student finance questions, me, the other universities, happy to answer any of them questions that are in there. If you have any specific questions about the university, I recommend going to www.hope.ac.uk. You can have a look at our course list. Or if you've got any questions that you want to directly email to me, other graduate advocates, and other people on our team, if you email inquiry@hope.ac.uk, we'll be able to answer any questions there.